Hello bakers and welcome to Upside Down. Today we are going to be creating Jack Sparrow or Johnny Depp inside Metahuman. With these videos I would like to explore a little bit more the power of Metahuman and how quickly and easy you can create famous people. If you would like me to do more on the topic and other either popular characters or favorite characters of yours, leave a comment down below, or anyone else, leave a comment down below and I'll be happy to do the video. Now, let's roll the intro and start with the process. So, I first got a couple of references. I found, this is kind of the closest one that I found from side view and from front view, and one more which we will be comparing just how he looks from different angles. I tried to find versions where there was not a lot of any specific expression, although it's pretty hard to find Jack Sparrow without any sort of expression on his face. So now let's just jump into Metahuman and start by some base. So we're gonna choose some of the bases and we will start by choosing something which is I would say close as possible as a face and as a base, and then we will just start tweaking it from there on. And let's see what options we have. This is inside the Create Human tab. So I think that from the ones that they're here, this one, and also there was this guy here on the top, that I think they're quite close. They have some of the features from Jack Sparrow's face, and at least this one we have the hairstyle and already kind of a little bit the beard and everything. We'll need to change quite a lot regarding nose and overall shape of the face, but I think it has quite good base of features. So yeah, let's start using this guy. So next step is just to click next, which will open our editor, and you can see we already got our guy. And once we go to the side views, you can see that I would say that he's not very close, although the hair, I think that we can use a pretty good portion of it. And right away it starts with some animation. We're just going to stop it so that it goes into T-pose. And I'm not going to work on the lower part of the body. There's still quite limited features in terms of Metahuman. There's guys from Epic, they're adding more and more almost every day. But we are going to concentrate and just create the bust for this guy. So I'm going into Sculpt. This will enable our mode for editing different portions and proportions and elements from the whole face. So as you can see, if we are in preview, we don't have any of those controls. We just have the timeline down here, but going into Sculpt, now we have those little markings around here, which we can use to manipulate, if I pull them in or out, the face and get it to the shape that we need. So let's bring our PureRef onto the main screen. And PureRef is a great software because we can now go into mode and then overlay selected, which will remove all the other elements like the background, and will leave us with the images on the screen, which after that we can just move around and put them wherever we want. So I want to use this one, which is like the front view, and it's not perfectly front, so I'm not going to follow it like one-on-one. But we can, as you see, we can align it kinda on the background, and after that use the dots that we already have for controlling to move some of the features around. So the way that we can lock our canvas is by Control and R, So this way, now you can see that if I click Ctrl R, and it will lock it, so it won't allow us to move our image around. This way I can come to our selection on the back and then just adjust all the small pieces and elements, and our alignment will stay. So I aligned, let's say, okayish the eyes, and we just need to trim and work on some of the other features around. So Johnny's has a little bit bended nose on one side, so it's not perfectly straightforward. And we will try to do this. Also, it's more narrow. It's a little bit like this, and here like this. We will lower a little bit their eyebrows, so we're just going to play now with the shape. Also, he has a lot more defined jaw, so it's something that goes more steep like that. A little bit more, the whole chin goes a little bit more up, and the lower lip is something like that. Okay. Then in terms of roundness of the face, he has a little bit more round face, like just doesn't have this element over here, but it's a bit more like that. And then in terms of eyes, his mouth, like the ending of the mouth, and the eyes, like I'm looking at the center of the eyes, they go a little bit outside from, at least from the image of the reference. So we either need to make the mouth maybe a little bit smaller like this, or we might need to move a little bit the eye. So we'll move it like that. Okay, I think this looks pretty good. Let's make the nose a little bit more narrow, because he definitely doesn't have that thick of a nose as this guy has at the moment. And also the tip is something that needs to go a little bit more down like that. Okay, so that looks already a lot better. Let's go from the side. So from the side, I think at the moment this guy has probably the biggest difference from Captain Jack Sparrow, and let's see how we can improve that. So let's start again by just looking at the top of the head. Like this part, we need to make it something like that. Then this one is definitely not going that much further out, so we need to move it a little bit towards the back. I think something like this should be good. Then the nose, this hump over here, we should not have it. He has a quite straight nose, I would say, now looking at it from the side, and needs to be a little bit bigger like this. And also these parts here, he has very nicely defined jaw. We need to move a little bit his cheeks on the back, and also this part here. Okay, and as well his eyes are a little bit more towards the back. They are not that further out. The super straight nose. Okay, I think that as a base, this looks pretty good. So let's start playing with some of the other elements, and then we'll probably go back to the shape overall of the face and tweak a little bit more. So let's start by skin. So the skin tone, we need to go for something a little bit lighter. So I would go for something like this, I think. Then in terms of freckles, he doesn't have anything, so we won't change anything there. And then in terms of accents, I think this model here is quite good, although if you want to change it for the model that you're doing, we can definitely select like some of the areas, for example, let's say the nose, and increase a little bit the redness of the nose. So this way you get a little bit more pigmentation and like all the like blood vessels and everything which is under there, so you get a little bit more of that redness. I think I'm going to reduce a little bit the redness on the cheeks, and maybe let's increase it a little bit to the top on his forehead. And now let's move to the eyes. So one thing that we need to check first is color of the eyes. So Captain Jack Sparrow, he has brown eyes, and they're not very dark brown eyes. I think this preset goes pretty close to his actual eyes. So let's stick with that. And then let's change the iris. So this is the pattern, and as well like how everything looks inside the eye. So he has a little bit, at least from the images which I got as a reference, he has a little bit like doesn't have that inner part, and this is something that I noticed that it's generally more common for like brighter eyes. He has more of a search pattern of inside his eye. At least from these references that I see. So let's go with this one. And then let's see. We maybe don't need to tweak it as much. So that's pretty much what we're gonna tweak in terms of eyes for now. Now the next step is going to be teeth. So for teeth, of course, as a Hollywood actor, we go for very white teeth. So we're gonna whiten them up a little bit more. And yeah, I'm not going to play a lot with that, to be honest. Let's go to the makeup section. This is the part where we definitely will play a little bit more with his especially whole eye makeup that he has. So let's go into the eyes, and we need to pick something. I would say that this is probably too much. Oh, this is definitely not what we are looking for. I think that, yeah, we can start maybe with something like that, and we will definitely need to change a little bit the colors. So let's go first with the colors. We will pick, I actually wonder if maybe some of the other ones, but just in terms of translucency, nah, it will be, yeah, it won't look as good as the smoked one. I think is probably the best fit. So let's go with this, and maybe we need to, yeah, reduce the roughness a little bit. After all, this is let's say made from some sort of a more like burnt ashes or something like that. This looks pretty good. He has quite strong makeup around his eyes, but not all of the scenes, to be honest. Some of the earlier movies, it's not as strong, and I think this looks pretty good. We don't need to define it and do anything more for now. Then in terms of blush, I think that we don't need to do anything there. And in terms of lips as well, he doesn't have any sort of a lipstick or anything like that. The only thing that maybe we will change is that at the moment his lips are a little bit too reddish. So what I'm thinking is that maybe I will need to reduce a little bit the color that we have here on our lips. Let's not make him that, like we will still have some colors, just not as saturated as the ones that we have currently. So yeah, I think something like this looks fine. Let's head to our eyebrows. Eyebrows are something that you most of those don't see them because most of the time his bandana just covers them. But actually on one of the references you can see that they are very, like, not very trimmed, and also not I think that probably something like that should work out. Maybe let's try one more version. Let's try this one just to compare. Now those looked too organized. Let's go with this one. I think this one looks pretty good. Then let's go into eyelashes. This is also something that will support and help a little bit for our eyes to stand out. So let's go with more strong eyelashes. This way we will get even one extra layer of the whole definition around the eyes. So we will just have a little bit long, short. Let's go with something like that. And then we go to our mustaches. I think the one that we have at the moment, they look pretty close, although he has a little bit of beard, like from the mustaches, that is going up to here. So currently we have those selected, but I would like to see maybe some of the other ones. I think that this one is going to be too much. So yeah, probably this one will be fine. Although Captain Jack Sparrow, he has he has more thicker ones than the stuff that we see at the moment. But let's tweak a little bit the beard as well, and it will help us kind of see the rest and organize the mustache a little bit better. So we go with just beard around the chin, and we just need the one that is on the top. This is something that actually doesn't exist as an option. I'm a little bit surprised. I was almost 100% sure that they had some sort of an option to have just the beard over here and this on the side to be a bit more trim, but I think that maybe we can go with this thing. We will add after that additionally I'm not sure what is the word in English, to be honest, the decorative elements on his chin. So yeah, we will go with those with this style, and then we will add some of the other elements. All right, now let's go into hair style. And we need to edit a little bit the hair color and as well the beard color, because he has more of this brownish, like dark brown, hazelnut, I would say, color into his beard. Like the beard, maybe it goes a little bit more dark, it goes almost black, but for the hair it's definitely more hazelnutish. So let's go like this for the beard, and let's reduce a little bit the white hairs so we don't have that many of those. And I think that we should do the same for the mustache, just we will get like a better definition for the mustache. Mustache, am I saying that right? Now let's where we were here. So yeah, here we go less from the white hairs, maybe something like this, and let's pick some lighter color because he definitely doesn't have as dark hair as the one that we had initially. And this, in terms of hairstyle, is something that we will anyway edit after, so we should not be worried as much at the moment. Now let's go into some of the details a little bit. So you can see that the eyebrows are too bright, so we need to again darken them a little bit more so we get a better definition. Yeah, something like that looks and works much better. And now let's look him from the side to see what other elements. So let's move the cheekbones a little bit, not as white as the ones that we had. So like this looks good. And what else? So the nose a little bit. And I think that we are getting there, definitely, one step at a time. So his whole face at the moment of what we have is stays a little bit too flat, so we need to move a little bit some of the elements. I think this one we need to go further like this. All right, as I'm saying, one step at a time. We are getting there. So currently I see that the eyes are something that doesn't look quite as close, so I'm just gonna drag his eyebrows a little bit lower, and as well we will just make them a little bit wider like that. All right, yeah, getting there. I would say we are quite close. After adding some of the decoration elements and also the dreadlocks, I think that we will get quite close to how he actually looks. And what I'm going to do as well is remove some of the clothing, because we just want like the top part to grab from him, and we don't want like any of those clothes that we had initially to be present. So let's go with the proportions and just change his shoulder, because at the moment the overall head towards the shoulder ratio doesn't really fit, especially like how his structure is. So he's a little bit more bulky, I would say, on the top from the guy that we just had. Well, this is definitely too much, but let's see. We currently don't have the options to manipulate a lot of the body, so let's go with the more skinny version, I guess, because the other one is definitely something that doesn't fit him well. That was a mistake. So yeah, let's go with this, and just we will tweak a little bit the proportion of the scale to the body, so we will get a bit better, like similar to his proportions. So I think maybe something like that. Yeah, looks and works pretty well. Now let's download the model, and I'll show you how to edit further on. Like we will get the whole model into ZBrush and add the dreadlocks, and as well add the bandana and some of the other decorative elements, and just further enhance and add all the details around our model. Now we're inside is ZBrush, and I'm going to get the head that we just created inside Metahuman and do some tweaks, and as well do all the decorations like the dreadlocks and other things. So in ZBrush, we are just going to import the FBX. This is from Bridge. You can download all the FBX files or everything directly inside Unreal. And you can see that it comes with already some things painted on. This is because it has a little bit of a vertex color and other information around. This is a nice way that actually you can see a little bit how the whole metahuman structure works. So as you can see, there is a little bit of different color around the eye line, and as well like for the hair, and blending the torso with the rest of the body. So what we're gonna do now is just gonna clean it a little bit. So I will remove, we don't want any of these surfaces to bother us. We're just gonna use this as a base to put the rest of the decorations. So I'm just going to first remove the poly paint. So this way we won't see any of those elements that we just saw. And I'm going to click append. And after that, I'm going to append a sphere in here. So the way that we are going to pretty much model all the elements and everything that we need over here is by just getting a sphere, getting it into the correct scale. So we're gonna start with the headband. I'll just move it to the position that I think should be fine. So let's start something like this. And after that, I'm just going to use a clay brush. We go into draw mode and start. Actually, first I can use a little bit the move brush. So we can just pull this whole top section towards the inside, just so that we adjust the whole bandana to the places that we wanted it to be. We don't have to worry about it being like intersecting with the mesh inside. And also we're just gonna leave a little bit more space anyway. We will make more the shape and everything with our brush tool. So I usually use the clay builder, and with the clay builder we're just gonna add a little bit more subdivisions, and then we can start. It's quite hard intensity, so then we can start just going around and making it to the shape from our reference, and just giving those creases here and there so that we get the same effect as a real bandana has. So at the end, we should get something similar in terms of a result. So after getting the bandana on the head, it's just a matter of starting to do pretty much the same thing. We're just going to append a box or a sphere, and after that stretch it out and add element by element. Like we're gonna add all the dreadlocks and then all the decorations. So we have all the elements done, so I'm just going to export everything. And since we're not gonna do any animations or anything like this, and it's just going to be for a static shot, we don't need to bother too much about how exactly we're gonna optimize and export all the things. At the moment, this is around 6 million in total, everything that we have on the scene. Of course, this is with the face, so it will be a little bit less, but I'm actually going to export that, and as well I'm going to use like the highest version for the face and all the other features, so that we can utilize and use everything from the nanite. And what I'm going to do next is just going to hide this element, merge everything that's visible, and we'll see you in a bit inside Unreal. Now with everything exported, we are back inside Unreal, and I'm just going to import the things that we just got from ZBrush. I'm going to get everything inside from the details that we just created as a nanite. And if you missed the video that I created recently about nanite, I'm going to put a link in the description below, and as well, it will pop somewhere on the screen. So go check it out, and as well subscribe. So let's continue with importing, and we don't want any materials and no textures. We're gonna build it as a nanite and just going to click import. Now with everything imported, we are just going to make a new level, and I'm just going to use a completely empty level because we just want to make a black and white bust for our character. So in the scene, I'm going to grab the body of the character. That's this is the one created from all the elements combined from Metahuman. So we should see something like this. And I'm also going to create, before adding any of the ZBrush elements, I'm just going to create a camera and some lights. Just some basic lights. We will tweak them in a little bit. So first, let's add a cinematic camera. And this is, I would say, pretty much the shot that we want to get, something like that. And let's go out of this camera, and I'm going to add some spotlight. If there's any of you interested in portrait photography, please do let me know. How am I doing with lighting this, I would say, a portrait that I'm doing? We got the dreadlocks and everything in, and now I'm just going to start tweaking a little bit the frame, and as well a little bit how we're gonna set up everything. I want to do just a black and white portrait for this one, like very classical one with very harsh shadowing. So at the moment I have a very simple setup. So there is one spotlight, and as well I put a skylight. So the skylight just uses one HDRI. If you're searching for where to download some HDRIs, I will put a link in the description. And HDRI Heaven, this is the webpage that you see at the moment on your screen, is the one where you can download for free quite a lot. There is a huge variety of HDRIs, and it's awesome because you can just get them in Unreal and get your scene lit. So for the HDRI, just simple skylight. I'm going to lower the intensity because we just want to have like a little bit more dramatic view of everything. And also an HDRI will help us a lot with the reflections. So here it will be something probably even less. We just want to get a little bit of light. Yeah, I think something like that works quite well. And also let's add a sphere of reflections. We need to go to visual effects and then sphere reflection capture. So we will have some reflections onto our scene. And I'm just going to make it on 000. And here on the reflection, again, we don't want to capture the scene because we don't have any information. We're just going to select the same HDRI and assign it onto our slot. So this way we have nice reflections as well. And now what we need to do is I'm going to play a little bit with our post-process volume. So here I remove the saturation from the global settings just so that we get the black and white result. And I'm also going to play probably a little bit with the ambient occlusion around our character. So let's, before playing with the post-process volume, set up our camera into a shot that we would like to see at the end. So I currently have not everything on focus, but selecting our camera here from the list, and after that in the details panel, we need to find focus settings, and then we can use the sample tool from the scene just to click on an object and it will automatically focus it. I'm just going to adjust it a little bit more so we get a nicer shot. I think something like this probably looks quite good. So let's do the same just so that we make sure that everything is focused. And now let's see where exactly is our spotlight. We definitely need to lower the intensity of that one. So let's try something like halfway. I think that we can even lower it more. Yeah, probably something like this works quite well. I will adjust a little bit our frame so it's like this. And since we have a black and white shot, we don't really need to play a lot with the colors, but what I'm going to do is play a little bit with the tones. So you can see that here, the hair, we have like a little bit these darker elements. And as well, like for example, the bandana is something which is a little bit darker than the face and the dreadlocks and so on and so on. So I'm just going to play with different tones of the gray. And the way that we're gonna do it is I'm just going to make one master material, which will be master material base, color. And here by holding 3 and clicking, we are going to create a color node, right click and convert it to a parameter. So this will be our base color. I'm going to hook it over here. And then we're gonna create a scalar parameter for our roughness. So this will go over here because we would like to play with those two settings to get the best feel for both the hair and as well in terms of color and everything. And I'm just going to save it as it is. Close it, and we're gonna make a material instance. So mi, and this will be gray 1. Let's name it. So this will be my gray color for the dreadlocks. And here you can see we can play now with the roughness and the coloration. So I will go with something like that. And then let's say 0.34. And let's assign this to some of the dreadlocks. We already have it like just by drag and dropping it. Now I can just darken them a little bit so that we get, this is too much. I think that probably something like this looks fine. And we need to make it less glossy. So this will be probably around 6, I think maybe even 8. Yeah, 8. It looks quite good. I think that we can go for a little bit darker tone even. But yeah, we will lower this 7, 6, 7, something like that. Just a little bit of shininess. So we have the dreadlocks. Now let's make gray 2. This will be for our shirt. So let's drag it onto the shirt. Oh, we had 2 clothes. I completely forgot about that. So this one will be even darker color. And then since it's the top, I will just make it like that. Let's make one more, or maybe we can use. Now let's just play with those coloration. We want to have a little bit of a variation, I would say, around the whole character, not everything to be the same. This one is maybe too dark, so let's make a third version. So this will be for the hair over here, and let's make it so that it's not as dark as it is now, just so that we get still a little bit of the silhouette. Okay, I think we are going pretty well. Let's make this element a little bit darker and those details as well. And for these decorative elements, since they're made out of metal, we need to make something which is a little bit more shiny. So I'm just going to boost the roughness. Let's put it something like this. yeah, that way we get those metal elements to be looking more metallic. I think we are in a pretty good state, so what I'm going to do is just play a little bit more with the light settings, maybe put light on the back so that we can frame him a little bit better and do just a little bit of a better setup. But this is pretty much how you can use Metahuman to create some of your favorite characters. Leave a comment down below if you would like me to make some of your favorite characters, and I'll be happy to as well put a link down below so that you guys can download them and use them, for example, for cinematics or anything else that you would like to use them for. Subscribe to the channel, thank you for joining me today, and see you next time.